Tell us a little bit about why you chose to make this film and the genesis.
Well, it was inspired by Mark Bohl's journalistic embed in Baghdad in 2004. He came back, had these extraordinary stories about men who arguably have the most dangerous job in the world. And I thought, as a member of the general public, I know very little about this conflict. It's somewhat underreported. And so that's really what prompted me to think that this was a great entry point for a film about this conflict.
Can you talk to us about the three characters and the ensemble nature of the film?
I mean, how we did it in this film is we really created an ensemble in the casting process, in other words, and on the page. So they were really scripted as three very unique and individuated, but nonetheless a group of guys that worked as well beautifully together. And again, through their friendship and camaraderie, they survived almost an impossible circumstance.
Can you paint a picture for us of life on set?
Life on set. Hot. Extremely, extremely hot. We shot in the Middle East in the middle of summer, about 100 in average temperature, 115 degrees. And Jeremy wore a bomb suit that's not created by art department. That is a real bomb suit, Kevlar. Your brother will know this. Kevlar and ceramic plate, weighs almost 100 pounds. And so that was, part of that reality that I'm talking about, keeping it real.
To keep it real, you obviously did so much research in the process as a director.
Well, I spent time with bomb techs, both in America at Fort Irwin and in Kuwait at Camp Buehring. And so that was really critical to actually spend time with gentlemen, and there are women bomb techs as well, who actually take that lonely walk and walk toward that suspicious rubble pile and disarm these bombs. And I think another thing that's very interesting for people to be aware of, and perhaps their takeaway in the film, is that these are men who are saving lives. They're not, they're in a combat situation, but they're there to save lives.
What was the most rewarding part of making The Hurt Locker?
The most rewarding part of making The Hurt Locker is seeing it finally come together and touch an audience, and really fully realizing the talent of these actors and all the promise that the script held, and seeing that on screen. And that was, it's a combination of many elements, and it's really gratifying, I have to say.
And what about the most challenging part? I mean, you're the director, you hold it all together.
I don't know. I think just probably very early on, before we started shooting, not knowing if it was all going to finally come together and coalesce, which is sort of the nature of independent filmmaking. They're very, very volatile situations until they become real, and they're somewhat ephemeral until then. So we're very lucky.
What's next for you?
Mark Bohl is writing a script, and hopefully that's the next movie. It takes place in South America, and I don't know, I've got my fingers crossed.
What do you think really has to be there to get involved with the project? What are the essential elements?
What excites me is truth and heart and honesty, and and having somehow that come into sharp relief on the page, and that's what's exciting, and keeping it fresh and original and surprising. Just little simple things like that.